What influence is music having on your life? Is it encouraging you? Is it motivating you? Is it taking you on a mission unstoppable? On this week's episode of Mission Unstoppable, we are looking at the hidden secrets behind the music you listen to and your ability to succeed, or its influence on your failure. This is a riveted teaching this week, very eye-opening, very enlightening. Learn how to succeed and become a mission unstoppable. Hello and welcome to Masters of Destiny's Mission Unstoppable. I'm Daniel Collier and I'm going to be teaching you today about the higher forms of music and how it influences you. Today's topic is on motivation, and I do instructions on motivational coaching and things like that, and inspiring people to do more in their life than they've ever done before. But it is very important to understand this factor, why I started Mission Unstoppable, and how these other forms of motivation, the so-called gurus in the subject, never will tell you about the higher forms of magic, the secret esoteric things that are being used against you that will cause you, no matter how many tapes you listen to, no matter how many secret messages from some secret thing, you will never learn to actually live out and become everything that they say you can be, because they will not tell you about the higher forms of magic that are being used against you that will keep you having to come back to them over and over again, searching for higher ways to actually escape their paradigm and live out the dreams that they're talking about. So I'm going to show you the factors that stand against you and expose the secret forms of magic that are being used from the occult throughout every paradigm. And this may seem confusing to you. You may say, what are you talking about? I don't participate in any of these things. I can guarantee you on a daily basis, almost every human being in the civilized world is being bombarded by secret, esoteric, occult programming. We're going to teach you what that is, how to break it, so that you can live out your fullest potential in your mind and your accomplishments in life and everything that God intended you to be. But you have to break the secret occult things that are playing with your mind. Today we're going to start with music. Brain scientists, psychologists will tell you. In fact, in one of my books I wrote about an individual who ran basically a hospital for mentally ill or disturbed patients. He said that almost 85% of his term patients, that's people that are there for at least a year or continue to stay there, are there because of rock music. I want to get this very clear to you. He understands the influence of what brings people to that point. Another man said in the same field that the influence of one song can have more effect on one of his patients or somebody he's dealing with than an entire year of counseling. This is how effective music is to reaching your conscious and even affecting your physical body. If you don't understand this, you will never be able to fully live out your life dreams and experience everything in life God intended you to experience. So we're going to cover music in how it affects our motivation. Because anytime you watch a video on the internet, something about motivation, there's some kind of music behind it. Or people love to go to the gym and put on their headphones and say, I'm going to put on my motivation workout music. And I'm going to show you now how that very music that you think is motivating you is actually working towards your demise in the end. And it's not even helping your workout in the same way that you think. It's not helping you to get motivated to do things in life. You wouldn't study for the bar exam or to get your doctorate with some death metal playing in the background. Why? Because you can't concentrate. There's a reason for that. So let's cover this now. We're going to get started. Music. There's something very important you need to know. In the late 1930s, the Nazis, everybody knows the Germans and the takeover of the Nazis, the very evil occultic regime that tried to take over the entire world, were the Germans and the Nazis. Now, the Nazis were not ignorant. They were, in fact, extremely brilliant. They took science, they took psychology, they took warfare to a level the world has never seen in just a few years. And so these brilliant scientists knew that music affected everything within a society. And it could affect people for positive, and it could affect them for extreme negative. So originally, music, there were 6 scales, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it was a scale that worked in harmony, the same thing that the sun resonates at, that plants resonate energy at. It's a life-generating frequency. It actually works, the music scale would work in harmony when music was tuned to that. The Nazis had it changed to the 6th scale. It used to be called the Lucifer scale. It was the one scale that was in disharmony to your thoughts. It was in disharmony to your body. It actually caused discord. So I want you to think about this very clearly. Music now remains at the 6th scale in its tuning. So the frequencies that are actually coming out from musical instruments are no longer working in harmony to resonate life, to actually regenerate your body, to create clarity of thought, to bring peace to your body. The Nazis had it changed, and nobody ever changed it back, to disharmony, to actually causing disruption in your body. Now, what's going on the first aspect? Let's say you're somebody that's into working out. You want to go to the gym, you want to get pumped, man, whoa, I'm going to fire up for the game. And your brain, their mental thought process of your brain affects every aspect of your body. What's going on, your neurosynapses and everything. This particular scale of music, coupled with the driving rock beats from rock music, let's say, or rap music, this very angry mood that is behind it, okay, creates brainwave disruption. They have done a lot of tests now, psychological tests, where hook monitors up and show the effects of certain music on the mood or the recovery of the cells of the body or the processes of the brain thinking. When you're working out, when you're trying to get motivated to accomplish something in life, when you need a particular edge to drive yourself past a low point in life, you need and I've been through this myself. I've been at points where it didn't seem like life was worth living. And you can remember in any depressive state, I will ask you this, in any depressive state you're in, suddenly you're walking around some breakup or something like that, and a song pops up in your head somewhere, right? And you're like, why am I singing this song over and over again? It's not a happy song. Here I am, it's like a jingle from a commercial you repeat. It's the same thing when you recall this sad song about a particular subject. Now this thing comes back up into your psyche, causing more distress, and it's done on purpose. The higher levels of magic, these people who have understood the psychology of human beings for thousands of years before you were ever born, and passed this knowledge on to secret magicians and people in occult and esoteric realms, know this. They are behind it. Just like the Nazis got their information from all of this secret occult stuff and manipulating human. And no motivational speaker will touch this subject, and I'll tell you why. Because 99% of them are involved in esoteric things themselves. They're into, that's why you hear them talk all the time, and they'll say, talk about things about, God or your higher being or whoever you might like to call them. They will not nail down the fact that the Creator God, they'll call him maybe sometimes the architect of the universe. These are esoteric names for a distant God. They won't put they're afraid to actually say Yahweh or the Creator God or the God of the Bible. I'm not afraid to say that. I'll come right out. That's who I'm talking about when I talk about God. not some mysterious force or some esoteric force. It's God that created everything, the essence of all life. So back to brain disruption here. The music that you're listening to, tuned to this 6th scale, is disrupting the thought processes in your brain, which then causes your body to react slower, because if it's sports you're involved in and you need to react fast. I was a martial arts instructor for many, many years. I had my own school, and your thoughts had to become lightning fast in your reactions and things like that. Anything that caused disruption would slow that down and possibly cause a reaction that could get you killed. So this is why in Eastern forms of martial arts, they would do meditation where they would practice concentrating on their body and attuning themselves and using focus. I like a different type of meditation where you meditate on the Word of God, which gives you clarity. But just the same, the music at the 6th scale that none of these guys will tell you about will disrupt your brain waves from healing your body, from accomplishing greater feats, lifting weights, running. Eventually it will cause more and more discord that will spill over into your personal life, and they'll never tell you about this. Many people will fight this because the psychologists that I've talked to will tell you that music is one of the highest forms of addiction there is, probably stronger than cocaine. In the early days when rock music first started coming out, when parents would take albums, when they used to have albums, they'd take them away from their kids because the kids were getting so addicted, they were just listening to the same music over and over because it was new and they haven't been desensitized to this music yet. They would take the albums away from them, and I've heard people now who are adults whose parents did this. They would tell about how they would seek out, they would go anywhere they could all around the city looking for some place to listen to that music again. They admit that they were so addicted to it at that time that it was like drugs. They were seeking out that mood and that odd feeling that it was giving them. And it wasn't, and they'll admit to now, it wasn't positive and it wasn't even good for them. Back in that days, probably the early 70s, late 60s, people recognized this. Now, the entire culture has become so desensitized to the influence of this music, it's become the norm to be at a lower level of achievement. Now, people don't even recognize what is happening to them. So that's why there's a greater influence of harder and harder music and more mathematical calculations and loops and the videos and the stuff they wear to also visually attract you to these videos and stuff. And I'll get into that some more later. But anyway, now take music at a scale that's in harmony. The 548 frequency and the type of music like Mozart or the type of music like Chopin and things like that. They have proven that children listening to this type of music softly in the background can actually concentrate better, and adults can enhance their mood and their clarity of things they're going to, even in sports and motivation stuff. The types of music tuned to this scale and the types of music that used to be produced actually enhance the mood, motivation, psychological thought processes, the intellect, everything with this type of music in the harmony section, as opposed to this Nazi-generated occult music that's being used now on the masses. I want you to think of it like this. What you think is bringing you pleasure, what you think because thousands and thousands of people go to concerts, or that all these radio stations play it, or it's everywhere you're at, or people talk about it, that makes it okay, that it's actually good for you because there's so many people doing it. What I'm telling you is, for an absolute fact, in my studies through my conspiracy books I wrote and things like that, it is an absolute fact that it is being used as a weapon against you to keep you from reaching your highest potential. Those at the top of this esoteric pyramid, they want to remain at the top of the pyramid, and they want you to remain down here. They want you to go to your jobs, go to work, and do the things they tell you and remain in a zombie state. All while telling you you are going to, this music is pumping you up. It's motivating you. You're enjoying it. The whole world is going, look at all the sparkly lights and all this kind of stuff. And what's really happening is they want to remain here. They want you to remain here. And it's going to have to be your choice whether you stay here and stay addicted to the things you're listening to and say, oh no, that doesn't affect me. That has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with it. Let's move. Secondly, when it comes to a certain type of music, the music in the 6th scale, usually hard driving rock, whatever it might be that people are using, putting on their headphones to go work out and stuff. The music is slowing the neuro impulses to your muscles. Now, they have proven psychologically that certain types of music, as they test the frequency of impulses as it travels along the DNA in the body, and your impulses to your muscles and your neurons and all the things within your, which causes your muscles to move and your body to react and your thought processes, that this type of rock music, this type of, call it rap, whatever in this genre that people are listening to now, it's actually slowing your neuro impulses down. You're actually, call it becoming more stupid listening to it. Whereas the other type of music in the harmony scale speeds up your thought processes, your neuro reactions, your ability to achieve. Let's say you're a football player. You want to enhance, you want to get faster, a boxer, or you just want to think faster in math and have more clarity about business decisions. Slower, faster, your choice what you want to stay listening to, because I can guarantee you they know it is an addictive substance, the use of the type of music. Let's say, as far as health goes, it is a fact now. Dr. Emoto in Japan has proven that words, the things that you say to yourself or other people say to you that you're surrounded by, actually affects water crystals. The structures of water crystals are affected by not only these vibrations, the vibration frequencies of the music, but also the words, the frequency of the words that are said. And these frequencies, let's say music at this scale, the 6th scale, the average rock, rap, country music, whatever, it doesn't matter, you're not left out of that. This music, along with the words, are affecting you physically. So the cells of your body, aging process, the breakdown, the actual strength, the longevity, your ability to heal of sicknesses. Music is actually used to heal, and it also can be used to disrupt your body. Dr. Emoto has photos where he has actually taken pictures of water crystals from saying, like one vial would say, they would go to each day and say, I love you, I love you. And then in another room, go to another vial, say, I hate you, I'm gonna kill you. Photographs of the ones with positive influence shows the water crystals look like snowflakes, very beautiful. And then the photographs of the ones with the negative, it's all distorted and disruptive, very sick looking. This same process is happening inside your body, okay? So here you are listening to this music, right? And the vibrations coming into your body affect, because your body's basically like a semiconductor, like a liquid crystal, and the DNA inside of your body is much like a computer chip that is like a read-write program, so that the cell membranes receiving frequencies, good or bad, can cause harmony. It's like getting radiation poisoning, and then you get sick and your DNA breaks down, or you have harmonious things coming at you, joy, peace. It's like the Bible talks about. A merry heart does the body well. Okay, so God knows what helps us, strengthen us and what causes us to have physical health and happiness, and what causes us pain. So let's say you're working out and you're listening to this music and it's or whatever you're listening to, the type of beats and it's going to slow your physical recovery. Let's say you're sick, you got the flu or you've got cancer and you're trying to recover from a sickness. The music that you're listening to is going to affect whether you have a speeded recovery on one side or a slowed recovery, or in fact an enhancing towards a breakdown of your body and death. I want you to think about that very clearly. This is not an opinion, this is physical science behind the music that you're listening to. I'm telling you 100% fact, these individuals know, because the promoters and the pushers and the people behind the highest levels of the music industry understand music very well. You can go back and read Socrates and Plato, and they will write about how music, all the way back thousands of years ago, the right type of music can influence a society into the right types of things, and the wrong types of music could influence people into a very negative and destructive process. Thousands of years this has been known. And suddenly, because like everyone is behind it and following it, we think, no, this is not possible. Somebody would come out and say it. Somebody would come out and tell you that it's bad. I'm coming out and telling you what it's doing to you. I'm telling you, you gotta listen. This is science. You can look up each one of these things as fact. It exists. If you want to achieve your greatest level in life, you have to be willing to let go of the very things that the forces of darkness is trying to use to destroy you. Let's look at the next factor here, the fourth factor we're going to talk about today, and that's what seems like common sense. It is the psychological disruption or the psychological encouragement of everything in your life. So, music is one of the most powerful influences. God created us with ears to hear sounds and a voice, and obviously music is extremely powerful and beneficial to us. So, if you are a Bible-believing person, you will read in the Bible where it talks about Lucifer, also known as Satan or the devil, that it is reference to him at one time being the head of worship, that his body was even created like a musical instrument. And so when we look at how the knowledge, let's say everything that is the dark side, surrounded by this Luciferian process, this satanic or dark side, esoteric, Nazi, occultic use of music, if it is influenced by this darker force, you have to understand, you have the master at a spiritual level of understanding music and its influence affecting this entire side. It's complete deceptive takeover into, because, you know, when you look at the Bible and it talks about Lucifer, it actually talks about how he hates you. He walks around like a roaring lion seeking who he can devour. If you have a spiritual entity and spiritual entities that follow this process, who are masters of psychology and understanding of music behind all of this, and obviously if you can see that this music is being created as a matter of science, because no matter where you go, if you turn on the radio in your vehicle and get in it and drive from California to Virginia, you're going to hear the same songs on the radio stations over and over, whether it's a country station, whether it's a rap station, whether it's a rock stations. You're not going, out of the millions of songs that are out there, you're going to keep hearing these same songs over and over and over again. And those same songs are going to have lyrics in them that has a chorus that repeats that chorus over and over and over again. This is called brainwashing. When they take somebody and they actually use music. If you go back and listen to any of these people who have survived some of the old types of brainwashing used in the 70s and 80s and reports from the CIA and things like that that used MK Ultra on people. Music was one of the factors where they would drug somebody, they would tie them down to a bed, strap them down, and then they would play music over and over and over because they know that this music implants messages into your head. That's why the lyrics of these songs are written in such a way now, and then no matter where you go, they make sure the music keeps playing and playing, and the hooks and the choruses play and play, because they are psychologically brainwashing you to remain in a certain state of psychosis, a state of thinking under their control. Meanwhile, they use a thing called doublethink. It's a form of witchcraft where they tell you that rock music is the expression of anarchy or rebellion or freedom from the norm. What they don't tell you is within all of this, like anything within the dark side, this deceptive process, they are literally taking you and telling you you're being free while they're encapsulating you into their occult system and trying to use a form of brainwashing to entrap you into their system. They are the greatest forms of liars. So they're lying to you to bring you in, and then they're the ones that are actually trapping you while telling you you're free. It's like the drug dealer who shows up in town and he says, "Hey, you want some drugs?" I'm like, no. So I'll give you some for free. So they give you a little bit to get you hooked. And the next thing you know, you're paying. Now you're addicted to it. This is how the process works. They appear to be, they give you the illusion of freedom within it. Like, I'm rebelling, and they get teenagers in this, and the whole message of the music and the artists and everybody is pushing this freedom aspect, and really they're imprisoning you in their system and laughing at you the whole time. This entire system, if you want to become unstoppable, if you want to be part of a mission unstoppable, whatever you want to accomplish in your life, you must realize you have to break this psychological disruption. In the negative paradigm, we're going to look. The positive paradigm of encouraging and good music at the right musical scales, and the negative. Let's take a look at the words that most people say, "Well, I don't listen to the words." Wait until you have a tragedy occur in your life and there's no music playing, and suddenly you start repeating a jingle of something. And the next thing you know, why am I singing this song? It's very depressing. Or why did this, or something start to happen. You're in a fight with somebody and you're arguing. And the next thing you know, these words start popping up. Violent or angry or something. Actually encouraging you to escalate the levels or do something stupid. Or let's say somebody's in a moral situation, a sexually moral situation, and they have to make a judgment call that at the time, maybe a little tipsy, could affect the rest of their life, and suddenly these words are playing and there's music in the background playing, just do it, you know, I took you home tonight, over and over. So the music's there, do it, and the thoughts are coming up, do it. Negative. So look at the music that you're listening to along their paradigm. Fear. They're singing about the fear of something, death, loss, losing something. Country music is not, everybody knows that country music is not outside this realm. They think because it has a more melodic tune to it, that it's not like, you know, some kind of heavy metal or hard rap or something. Country music is just as bad, if not worse sometimes, because it circles you in this thought process, and its idea is to keep you in your socioeconomic level. It encourages lots of drinking of beer, losing of your dogs, your wife walking out on you. This is, the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he, okay? And the words that you say affect your physical body, and it affects your outcome, your peace, your hope, your faith. So if you're listening to something that's continuously talking about loss, somehow, loss, this is going to become who you are. You're psychologically programming yourself to remain in this state of unhappiness. And the very entity that wars against your peace and happiness in life, Lucifer and all of his minions, they love you to stay in this state of loss, right? This thought process, because he hates humanity. He hates what God has created. He hates that we were made in God's image and he was dethroned, and we were basically put to have dominion over this earth in his place. He hates that, so he seeks to destroy you. So the use of music, of course, the minions who sell out within the industry will write songs and sing about these things. And those who follow along the same paradigm, let's say new artists come along, after a while they want to be like the famous ones. They'll write songs in mimicry of these, the same type of genres. They don't even have a bad intention about what they're doing. The problem is that they're on the same path. They're mimicking their idols, and they become a student for them. So the next you'll hear is greed and lust and all the other negative psychological parameters. If you listen to the words of the music, because it is reaching your subconscious. All psychologists will tell you, brain scientists will tell you, the music you're listening to, the words are going into your psyche and being stored there. That's why it's repeated, like I said, over and over again, because it's like a read-write disc in your brain. It's being burned into your neurons. It's not like something that was said one time. This is a message that is being repeated and repeated along with music, burned onto your neurons. And if it's negative, it's going to burn this negative imagery, and because your mind and your subconscious does not know the difference between reality and a dream. It simply reacts and does what it does according to the information in. It then puts information out. I put a challenge to you right now. If you think you're going to be motivated, if you think that you're going to accomplish all the things that you can accomplish in life, and listening to these words coming from certain types of music, I'm going to tell you, you're absolutely wrong. Proven by science, it cannot happen for you. Now, the next factor we're going to talk about is encouragement. Take words. You get very few songs in the secular world that are encouraging. A few. And then you get a lot of encouraging words in Christian music and stuff like that, some Jewish music and stuff like that talk about happy things, motivational things, the encouragement of life, love, and charity. Now, if you are listening to music like this, it has also been proven that this music will lift your spirits. Everybody's heard about lifting your spirit, feeling happy. You know, look at little kids when they listen to music, certain songs, they're all happy and clapping. The same feeling we get when we listen to the same music, little kids' music, there's a certain happiness we feel within it. This is why I tell you that you have to surround yourself. As a man thinketh, as a person thinks, so they become. If you have influences of things coming at you every day from a negative side, let's put it this way. Most people don't think about this. In the book, when I'm going through this Mission Unstoppable program, I cover how much time people spend watching TV and how much time the average person spends listening to music. If it is absolutely known, the Nazis knew this, Socrates, Plato, all these people back thousands of years ago know that music influences your brain, your physical body, and your ability to achieve things in life. This is a fact. It's been proven by science. This is very well known. Now imagine if you were listening to music an hour a day, how much influence? If you went to school an hour a day, that would have an influence, right? What if the average person is spending 4 hours a day listening to music? At the end of a person's life, from the time they're 5 up to they're 65 years old, 70, 80 years old, they may have listened to over 10 years of constant music or more. Over this expanded period of time, imagine just sitting and putting negative music on your head and listening the vibrations. Think how that's going to affect your physical health. Think how that's going to affect your ability to achieve things in life. Negative vibration music at the 6th scale, causing disharmony to your cells in your body, your DNA, your health. Negative words coming at you perpetually for years of your life. Years. You wake up in the morning, the alarm goes on. Negative. You get in the shower, you turn on that same music. It sounds normal. It has a certain vibration to it that seems like it's energizing you, but it's kind of like drinking coffee. Coffee does not stimulate you by giving you something that enhances your body. It's a poison. So your body overreacts trying to compensate for that poison in your body to flush it out. That's the false sense of energy, and later you feel tired. The same with this type of music. The negative influenced words and vibrations are psychologically and physically damaging you so that you can never achieve your full potential in life. And the problem is that people go seeking motivational coaches and gurus and listen to motivational videos on the internet, trying to get themselves pumped up with the words that, the encouraging words about just going for it and accomplish these things and don't give up and never stop trying and all this kind of stuff. The problem is you cannot reach your full potential. Most people are never going to make it out of this process, this whole parameter of life, because the music that they're listening to is bombarding them and telling them fear, lust, greed, failure, fear, lust. And then it's encouraging them to do things in their life that are actually going to cause them damage and more harm, so they can't escape from this position until you realize that you must place in your life things that encourage you, things that bring hope and peace and joy and love. This is why I read the Bible. This is why I love God's Word, because it brings hope and peace and joy, and it exposes. This is how I learned about all of these things. God has opened up my mind and my eyes to see the things I never saw before. I used to be in a band. I loved music. I played this kind of music. I sang it. I understand all about it. I know music. I also know the destruction behind it. I know the moods and the feelings that it creates. And I also understand very clearly now what's going on from the top down, and how you cannot live a life and have a mission unstoppable in which you can't be stopped in the things that you want to accomplish in your life if you continue to let the negative part of music influence you and destroy you. You need to take positive action, understand what you're listening to, how it's affecting you, and how it can actually benefit you. If you put music into your life that's encouraging, uplifting, is harmonious with things, this will enhance you to becoming unstoppable. But what I'm asking you is, you must be willing to, like if you're listening to a motivational person say, you've got to do it. You've got to just get yourself over it. You've got to be willing to do the things that no one else will do. This is part of it. You've got to be willing to give up the things that no one else will give up. This type of music, you must be willing to give it up in order to get what you want. You must replace it with something better. When they say, get the bad influences out of your life, get those bad and negative people out of your life, get the bad and negative music out of your life. Am I making myself clear today? I hope so, because I don't know anyone who's going to tell you this unless you end up in a church somewhere in which I never even hear this. And I want to finish on a final note here. The same vibrations of the musical scale that is used here is used in churches now, many places. That same, imagine this paradigm within music. You have positive, encouraging words that are singing about something hopeful, peaceful, and joyful. Now, imagine this paradigm, and I'm going to give it to you for Christians who go to church and they're listening to certain types of music because this is what they think is the right thing to do. In the early 1970s and late 60s, when the music started to change within the church, there were people who came out, people who used to be in the occult, high-level people, heads of music industries, who became Christian and tried to warn people about the influence of something they called Jesus rock. It was the influence of the vibrational cycles of the dark side's music, bringing it into church. Now imagine this. I'll give you a way to think about it. Imagine somebody comes to you and they say, I love you. Man, it is so great to see you. I love you. Now, imagine somebody comes to you, on the other hand, and they say, I love you. Man, it is great to see you. All right, think about these two cycles. I love you. I love you. The two processes that just took place, I just said with happiness, with joy, with resonance in my voice, I love you. The other is negative. Although I'm saying the joyful words, I love you, I'm saying it with a psychological vibration and a psychological attitude that it's negative. So the secondary one you hear, you're like, that person doesn't really mean they love me. When you're listening to certain types of Christian music, and the words are positive, but the music is angry, you've got this vibration going on. You like my rendition? You have a negative, discordant vibration coming along with the words. The words sound happy, but have a negative mood behind it, thus creating a null effect. Does this make sense? If you have a positive word and in a negative musical vibration tagged to it, psychologically, this is going to make you, what should be uplifting you has a negative connotation. So the word Jesus and anger, encouragement, faith, and love, and anger. It is a duality that the esoteric, occult side, the influences within the church, the satanic movement, understands very well because Lucifer was a part of this. And getting this type of music within the church, they can't fully stop it. They know they can't get you to sing negative words about Jesus and about the Bible and stuff, but they can influence you with a type of music that will cause you to be ineffective. You cannot accomplish all the things that God intended for you to accomplish in life, to be encouraging, to be unstoppable, to reach into the whole world and carry out His mission and live a life in which you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. This is nearly impossible to do if you're tagging everything with a negative thought process into your spiritual worship. Okay? I want to let you know this because no one will talk about this. Everybody's so afraid to touch this because they think they might offend somebody or it might lessen the ability to bring in younger people into the church. And I don't really care about what they think about this. I'm telling you the truth about it. No one is going to tell you the truth about this message. And I'm going to tell you this. That's why I want you to share this with everybody you know. Anybody who listens to music, who goes to church and things like that, it's imperative that you know this because it's fact. This is factual information. This is no longer like an opinion. This is factual information, how it influences you and how psychologically it tags to your physical health and to your mental ability and someone in church's ability to actually go into the world and be all the things that Jesus said. If your spiritual worship is tagged with negative vibration, music in the sixth scale, and with angry sounding vibrations of musical instruments tagged along with certain words, it will null effect or lessen the effect of the ability for that worship to encourage your spirit. That's a fact. Okay, this is Dan Collier today. I went a little bit long on Mission Unstoppable. This is a little bit about the message we're carrying out. You can find more at www.mastersofdestiny.academy, where we're encouraging you with real life positive motivation that you will not find anywhere else on the planet. I'm giving you this message because I love you and I want you to truly be all the things that God intended you to be. Please share this with everyone you know. Share it on social media. Get this message out there so people can really put this into their life and be all they can be. I love you. We'll talk to you soon.